Activate party mode.
A-firm, party mode engaged.
Welcome to Party Mode, the F1 podcast with no limits. I'm Jethro Bovingdon, and I am joined by my good friends Matthew Collins and Charlie Curtis. And you join us, well, me, dazed, confused, jet-lagged, but also proud, because just down the road from my home, where I'm 4,000 miles from, there was an awesome F1 race. We had rain, we had the awesome British crowd, Silverstone looking amazing. So, boys, you can thank me now on behalf of American fans to the British public for creating this amazing race.
Well, several things. One, I can't believe you weren't home for the race of all of them. But also, you're in Tennessee.
I am. I'm in the Smoky Mountains. I'm at a lodge. I'm at the. You would have heard of it probably. The Tail of the Dragon. Have you heard that?
I've ridden it on my motorcycle.
You have?
Yeah. I drove from Toronto and we went through the Smoky Mountains. And I stayed. I did like a self-development thing when I was in my early 20s in the Smoky Mountains. And that was like the coolest thing. There's some weird towns around there, but the Smoky Mountains, waking up and that mist is so cool.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So, I mean, I've literally just got here. So I'm in, I think the main lodge is Topoco Lodge or something, which is probably where you stayed if you've ridden on your motorbike. And then we're in a house 7 or 8 miles up the road. So I flew from London to Chicago yesterday, had a night in Chicago, and then just flew in here. So I've literally had some food, arrived, had some food, and now we're doing this. I did watch most of the Grand Prix this morning, though, so I feel almost prepared.
Pleasure or vacation?
I'm here for work.
What's the difference?
but still
you
pleasure.
Have the best job.
Yeah, so it should be fun. So tomorrow I'll have to be up early. We're going to do a bit of filming on Tail of the Dragon. Then we're going to go up to another road called Charahola Skyway, I think. So should be cool. And the
Where do
place
you get to drive?
Gorgeous. I'm in an old BMW, so nothing brand new, but it's cool. It's called a Z3M Coupe. Pretty super rare, really, in BMW terms. And it's perfect size for these roads. So I think it'll be loads of fun. But I'm absolutely knackered. What time is it now? Late. Too late for me. It's late for the UK. So, but yeah, let's talk. What are you boys doing? You're both at home, aren't you?
We were
in Palm Springs. We went for 4th of July. We've done it every year for like the last 5,
as long as I've known you.
7 years. Yeah, since I've known Matt. But it's super fun. But we just got home today. It was great. And Matt and I watched it this morning. We weren't on time, but we were only 30 minutes behind.
30 minutes behind.
That's not bad. Yeah, I was similar actually. So is Palm Springs must be like 300 degrees or something at the moment.
It was,
isn't it?
Well, we went into town to go vintage shopping and Charlie's car said it was 112 degrees.
Wow.
It was hot.
Yeah, I was in when I was in Chicago, so me and Laura got married in Chicago on like this rooftop of this hotel. So we try and go up there. There's a bar up there and stuff, and we try and go up there every time. We had a 4:30, I think, booking at this place. It was so hot on the roof, like no shade. We lasted about 20 minutes. I was like, I know this was like a really special place for us, but we have to leave.
So
right
I got
now.
married in Palm Springs.
Oh, wow.
In June.
Okay.
In June, in the summer. And it was
good.
so damn hot. It was insane. But we love the heat. We love the heat.
Yeah, I couldn't handle Chicago. It was too much. But
Yeah, and then I fly to Canada tomorrow. We just did laundry. We got back and our flight's tomorrow morning. So it's been a nightmare of a day.
And this is a family thing.
Yeah, we're going to see my family for a week, and then Charlie and Ryan and their families all fly into Canada on Thursday, and then we go up to my friend's lake house for a week and a bit. So this is that trip, and then Cece's birthday next Friday, so going to do that. Yeah.
It's nonstop.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just like, she traveled like a dream at 4 months, and now she's a year. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I have a little bit of anxiety about it, but it's going to be fine.
I mean, it'll be harder than when she's 4 months, won't it? Because she can actually move around and find stuff.
She's like running now. It's like not going to be great.
Okay, listen, we should talk about the race because I'm going to die of fatigue at some point, but also it was pretty spectacular, wasn't it?
Like those F1 movie fans that just got in and just watched the last race and just watched this race, I think we locked in hundreds, millions of more fans after these
millions more. Yeah.
Wow. They also said 500,000 people there this weekend.
Is that 500,000?
Right? Yeah.
So that's a new record because it's always like them and Austin.
It did basically say that's what it said. It said like a new record-setting 500,000 people.
That is incredible, cool. Isn't it? That is. I mean, I watched some of the first practice stuff on like Friday, and it was the grandstands were absolutely heaving even on Friday.
Matt and I were talking about it. We watched practice, and it was like,
yeah, I was like,
normally practice is pretty dead,
like 50-50.
It was.
I think
it was slammed. It was like it might as well have been the race. It was insane.
You can tell there's more people going because they really love racing versus like the spectacle fans in the UK. There's for sure those lifelong fans.
Yeah, it seems to. I mean, but having said all that, like Silverstone, I can't tell you what a nightmare of a place it used to be to get to. You basically had to drive through Silverstone Village to get there. So you were driving through a very small, road that was built in whenever, like 1910 or something. And you could lose days of your life just queuing. I used to go there. They do a historic festival that I used to go to, and then I'd sometimes go to the F1, and you'd queue for hours. It was a nightmare. But now the infrastructure is much, much better. But the idea of back in the day putting 500,000 people through there, they'd be there 6 months' time trying to get out the car park. So no, it's awesome that so many people go.
It's a lot of people.
500,000 people.
500,000.
It's crazy.
People.
But to be like I said, it is. I think there are a lot of hardcore fans, but they do try and make it a real event now. You go there, even 3 or 4 days on the lead up. There's people camping already. There's concerts going on. There's a big sound stage with the drivers up there doing shows and stuff. And in the UK, we're not normally great at that. Honestly, we don't do the razzmatazz like you guys do so well with all of your sports.
Well, you guys have Glastonbury, so that's kind of incredible.
We do, and we have, and we don't have baseball where you need something interesting going on, otherwise people would just turn off. So, but yeah, no, they've done a good job turning it into like a brilliant F1 race, but also a bit of a festival. So, what did you think? I guess it all came down to Oscar, didn't it? And his penalty.
Lewis had it. I feel like he had the fastest qualifying lap. He had it, and he lost it in the final sector. So for me, it was a little frustrating.
Yeah, because the problem was they let Russell ahead of them, didn't they, in qualifying, which was also the problem. So it wasn't like he just missed out. He actually ended up like 5th, didn't he? And but did you see Leclerc's rant after the qualifying? He was not happy at all, was he?
No, but I heard of it. I didn't see it though.
Oh yeah, he
was not happy.
Up. He is literally just like screaming at the top of his lungs, calling himself a fucking idiot, this, that, and the other, really going for it, like really getting stuck into himself. But I didn't follow all of that because that was my travel day, but it seemed like he was never going to be quicker than Lewis and be on the front row anyway. It felt like Lewis always had it. So I was surprised that he was so upset when I saw that, but he was really getting stuck in.
Yeah. But I guess the big storyline is Oscar and that penalty, because
that's what it comes down to, right?
A bummer. And I guess I don't know, but Jethro, do you think that's justified? 10 seconds?
As soon as he saw it, I thought he'd get a penalty, because not only did he did a pretty big break. They've looked at it, haven't they? And I think because George Russell nearly got it with or Max was trying to get George Russell a penalty, wasn't he? But they said he was using like 30 psi of pressure or something, and Oscar was using twice the amount. But also the conditions, like when it's wet, properly wet and stuff, to be like doing a big slow down.
So they said this during the thing, but does it matter? Like, are rules? Do they change when there's different conditions or what?
They probably shouldn't, but I think with visibility the way it was, you have to have some consideration. I mean, Hadjar basically crashed into the back of Kimi Antonelli because he didn't see his car. So that's how bad it was.
Also, Max could have just slammed into the back of him. Like, it wasn't that crazy. Like he could have. Easily. He could have just, that could have ruined both of their races for sure. 10 seconds though it should have been 5
for sure. 5 seconds. And then 5 seconds, still wouldn't have been Oscar. It could have been both of them. They would have been racing hard at the end, which could have been crazy.
Yeah, I think 10 seconds is just the standard penalty. I know he was super pissed. I didn't think it was outrageous. That's for sure. I know you two are Oscar fans, but I certainly was not outraged by it. And
I'm not an Oscar fan. I'm just not a Lando fan.
I know, but from a championship point of view, it's still good. It's like it's getting closer and closer.
You're right. It's fun.
I think it keeps it going. And it introduces a bit of needle. All of those things for the narrative are great, I think.
The narrative is great also because Lando knows Oscar won that race. He was the faster driver. He knows it. Everyone knows it.
But do you think
so he got the points, but Oscar clearly was better this weekend.
He was. I think psychologically, though, there's two ways to read that. It could be that Lando suddenly goes, oh, this could be my year. Like this, there's stuff happening for me that's helping me, and it chips away a little bit at Oscar. And Oscar's like asking the team to swap positions was a true move of I don't know, genius or desperation, but that was pretty funny.
Sure. Both.
Yeah. But I think Lando might think that he's been a bit hard done by in certain things, or he's been a bit unlucky and he's made a couple of silly mistakes. And to see a little bit of fortune go his way, I think could fire him up, actually. And Oscar was awesome in the wet, but in the dry, Lando was catching him pretty quick. So I think Oscar definitely had a stronger weekend, but yeah, it's all about the points at the end of it.
Yeah. I like Oscar. It's the first time in a press conference I saw him. He was shaken. He was definitely shaken. And I like it because I don't know, Oscar driving with a fire under him, like if he's got a little bit, like that might derail him completely because he's always so calm. Maybe a little bit, but either way, I hope it's this fire where he just goes a little bit more aggressive and just doesn't slam on the brakes in a downpour again, because that wasn't good.
The weather was insane. Like it was you
so
could
fun.
see it. You'd see like a panning shot and there would literally be, you could see rain falling like half a mile away or something.
Or it looked like Satan was coming down from heaven. It looked dark, black skies.
It was black skies. It was a trip.
I think that's what makes it so great. Like the weather was constantly changing, and they were like, "All right, 14 laps is going to switch, and then 5 laps is going to be worse, and then it's going to get better." And then that just makes for an incredible race for sure. We were more stressed because we had to leave this Airbnb, and we were with all the yellow cars. We're like, "Shit," because sometimes that delays a race like an hour and a half.
And
I'm like, "Shit, speed up."
It was a little rough. There was a lot of yellow flags, safety cars, virtual safety cars. It was a lot.
Yeah, safety cars should be like 2 laps instead of 5. I
don't know how
they do
depends. It depends how quickly they can clear this, whatever the actual obstacle is, isn't it? But yeah, the rain was such that they just felt it was a bit too dangerous. Because if you start to aquaplane, I mean, some of the offs were spectacular, weren't they? Like Leclerc went across the grass. He looked like he didn't brake. He was doing like 150.
It was to the point where they were going so off the track that I was like, how's one person not going off the track, thinks they're coming back on the track in the right direction and is just going the wrong direction because they can't see anything. Because like Leclerc on that time said a huge water droplet got in his eye and he was like blinded for a second. Like that is not good.
He was off the track for so long as well. It was like
long.
So long.
Just decided
Ridiculous.
to take some intricate shortcut and he was just spearing across the grass.
There was also, I noticed
brilliant.
with George Russell, they were like following out a lap with George Russell. And I swear every time the camera went on him, he was peeling off another visor. Like I swear one lap, he pulled off like 6 of these things.
I was going to say the irony is we have had the driest period in the UK for like months. It's barely rained in the past 8 weeks or something. I don't know if you've watched any of the tennis at Wimbledon, but it's like been hot, sunny every day. It's going to be like 85, 90 this week. It's like, it's bizarre. We've had almost no rain, but it got all saved up for this race, which was brilliant. But it was strange because when you saw the formation lap, it just looked like, yeah, for sure, get on slicks immediately. There didn't seem to be any water. It was like a no-brainer. And I was amazed that only 6 or whatever, like you said, went in. But then as soon as the race started, they just were firing themselves off the track at every corner, basically.
Because I think they all got confidence. And then as soon as they hit that last sector, they're like, no, this is dry. This is good. And
It was
just
definitely the end
gone.
of the lap. It was the end of the lap. They all felt great, ripping through the first 2 sectors, and then all of a sudden couldn't keep it on.
But it was the pattern that kept repeating. Like there'd be a safety car, and then a couple would be like, oh yeah, we're going to try slicks early. And then they'd come in and then they'd fire it off the track. And it was just like, whenever you thought it was the right time, it seemed like it was 5 laps later that was the right time. But no one learned. They just kept doing it. Russell did it I swear he did it like 3 times in the race. It was just flying off the track in all directions. But it was impressive to watch the McLarens when they were going quick, because they were literally like 3-4 seconds a lap quicker than everyone at certain stages of the race. So they are flying. And we saw the rarest of things, didn't we? Max Verstappen make a mistake, like a pretty big one. He went off a couple of times, but that spin,
couple of them,
big one.
That was a big one. But to stick it on pole, I mean, they looked like they had nothing, and he just stuck it on pole.
Yeah, well, he took that compromise, didn't he? He decided, let's go for lower downforce, good speed down the straights, and he just hung on to it through the high-speed corners. But if the rain was going to come, that's always the problem, because in the rain, obviously the higher downforce you've got, the more chance you've got of actually getting around the circuit. So it didn't pay off in the long run, but it did. It was another heroic lap, wasn't it?
It was heroic, yeah.
I just did look up, and there were 10 spinouts in that race.
Yeah. It felt like more.
Yeah,
because
I think it's not including. I think spinning out and going straight through multiple zones, I think, is probably a different definition. So there was money just straight through and a lot of spinouts.
Yeah, because there was a lot of times when on the graphic it would be yellow flag and then it would go away straight away, where another person had just fired it off the grass and then rejoined or whatever. It was just happening.
So many flashes
over.
of the yellow flag. You're right.
Yeah, literally like 10 seconds or something of yellow flag.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was great. And like I say, I think for the championship, it's good. It's a shame for Max, but he still climbed back up, didn't he? Even though the car looked awful and he was struggling, he always finds a way to maximize, doesn't he?
The Red Bull looks terrible. And all weekend, he didn't look fast. He had one insane lap.
Yeah.
And that's the one that counted.
Crazy how he can keep doing that. It's unbelievable.
He can keep doing that, yeah.
So do you think he's going to leave? Because there's such strong rumors about him, isn't there now? There's like the Italian media are saying he's definitely going to Mercedes, and there's all these rumors. But I don't know what to believe with the Max. You just don't know, do you?
I feel like he's going to leave. I do. I feel like he's going to leave. I don't know, but I don't gather that him and Horner have like the best relationship. Not the worst.
Yeah. No,
but also
right.
not the best. Toto
would be good for him.
Could win him over. Like he could win him over. I think he's out. Yeah.
I think he needs a good father figure. He's a
father who doesn't lock him in vans and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he wouldn't like that. Oh dear. No, I can't. I don't know. I think he will. I think you're right. I think he's going to leave, but I find Mercedes and Max a strange match. We'll see. We'll see if it happens.
I would agree with that. I do think it's a weird match, and it's weird that that's the only option right now. But I do think he's going to leave. And it just so happens that Mercedes is the only team entertaining it. But, like, where else does he go?
Well, it's Merc or Aston, isn't it? That's got to be it. It's Merc or Aston Martin. There's no other choice. I think if he thinks Newey's going to come up with a... Yeah. If he thinks Newey's going to come up with the genius car. If I was him, I would just wait. I'd sit it out for a little bit because next year there's this huge rule change. Someone will be ahead. That's the way it always happens with a rule change. Someone nails it. Everyone else spends 3 years catching up. So Max can afford to wait, see who the best is, and then go to them and say, oh, I'm ready now. Mm-hmm. And he'll get the gig because you can guarantee. Yeah, you can just guarantee it. Okay, we have to talk about Matt's man crush.
Hulkenberg, baby.
In fact, you might want to do just like a soliloquy or something about the Hulk.
I should have written something.
You should have written something. You should.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Like it was his 19th to 3rd.
Also kind of crazy that he's never been on the podium.
Really it's insane.
I never would have thought, I never would have in a million years thought he had never been on a podium until they mentioned that stat this weekend.
Yeah. So he had his first race in F1 in 2010, Bahrain Grand Prix for Williams. And he's never had the best car, of course. There's been a couple of times he's had a pretty decent car at Renault, etc. And it's just never come together. And on his 239th race, he gets the podium in F1. It was brilliant. He deserves it as well. Over the past couple of years, he has been consistently one of the top drivers, without a shadow of a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they brought it up too. Like he's always had a kind of bottom of the pack car, and he's definitely doing more than he should with that car, whatever car it is.
For sure. He's been starting low and making up spots every race and getting into spots that he shouldn't have. It's crazy. It's
3rd.
Like, well, last year, Sauber had 4 points the whole year. And now they have 41.
Yeah, and
that's insane. They're sixth in the Drivers' Championship. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, they've had in the past 4 races, they've been scoring 3rd or 4th out of all the teams. They've really done a good job. And who knows? They're going to be Audi next year. Maybe this Audi project, which everyone was sort of laughing about and they're never going to do anything, is going to be a nightmare. It looked like Audi sold some of the team before they've even branded it. They've sold some of it to the Qatari fund, I think. And it was like Audi are trying to get out before they even get in. But now, all of a sudden, maybe they're going to have a decent car, and they've clearly got 2 decent drivers. Bortoletto had a bit of a mare again, but he's got potential. I still think that. So, but yeah, I was pleased for the Hulkenberg. I've watched him so many times be in a position to get a podium. I think there was one at the Nürburgring where he crashed out in the wet, and there's been others, Brazil, and it's just never quite happened. So to watch him do it was great. Although I was like you, I was hoping Lewis might grab a podium. He's had 12 podiums in a row, Lewis, at the British Grand Prix. It's insane. So that would have been his 13th, which is maybe why he didn't get it. But
I was confident he was going to get it. I was so confident he was going to put it on pole. I was so confident he was going to win the race. All of it. I was like, he's got it. Like it's the fairy tale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe they've turned the corner? He's outqualified Leclerc, the last 2 races? Do you think he's turned the corner? Do you think Leclerc's just had a couple of bad sessions? Where are we at with Lewis?
Well, we were watching, and the one radio message, I look at Charlie, and I'm like, that's the first time he's seemed relatively calm and not devastated on the radio. Like, he was just kind of pleasant with what was happening, and he's only complained about it the whole time. So that felt good.
I think he has turned a corner. The car just isn't there. He is outperforming Charles. And I think Lewis is doing the best he can with that car, and he's beating Charles.
Yeah, the last couple of rounds. It would be fascinating to see if that continues as a pattern, because that would be... It was only probably 4 races ago, people are going, Lewis has completely lost the plot. And, now suddenly doesn't seem that way again. So, but I don't know if that's because as you get older, you can still hit your peak, but it's just rarer that you do it. So you will look less competitive for more of the races, and you'll have these moments where you're like, oh, he's done it, he's turned the corner. It's just hard to say. It's at that point. I think until we have a bigger set of him doing this, maybe 6 races in a row, then you could be a bit more confident about it.
Well, he's producing a big movie and was probably stressed about it for a long time. And now the movie is a success and he can let his hair down a little bit. He's a little bit more relaxed. You have a hit movie. You're now a successful movie producer. And now he's like, at least I'm not a flop. That would have been embarrassing. He already had to shut down his vegan burger spot. So didn't want another failure under his belt. He's feeling good.
Did you hear him talking about the difference between like driving for a British-based team and the Italian team? Did you see some of that interview?
No.
There's just one bit. Let me see if I can read it. So firstly, he moaned about on like a Sunday morning at the British Grand Prix, all the mechanics would have been out for a curry the night before, so it would just stink of curry, and he thought it was disgusting. But then he's talking about Italian teams, and he was like, oh my God, there's literally a scheduled time in the day for lunch that they can never, ever miss. Sometimes I go into the garage to talk to my mechanics. I'm like, where is everybody? And they're just at lunch.
That's amazing. But it's how you should live. It's
the way to live your life.
That's the way to live your life.
Maybe not the way to win in F1, but it is the way to live your life.
To win in life, yeah.
Great way to live your life, not a great way to win.
I just thought that was when they're asking about the difference between a British and Italian team. The number one thing is I can never find anyone because they're all at lunch.
And also at Mercedes, there's someone in there all the time. Doesn't matter. If you need something, there's someone there. And I love the idea that at Ferrari, they're out to lunch. They're literally out to lunch.
Well, they still have this thing in Europe, particularly in Italy. I used to come across it all the time when we're working. We'd be trying to set up like stories in the month of August, and you just can't because Italy completely closes. Like it's like done. That everyone's got by the middle of probably early July, you start ringing people up and they're like, oh no, we're going to be off soon. So all bets are off until September now. So really it's not just a month where they don't do anything. In July, they're already telling you they're not going to be doing anything for a month. And then September, you get back and they're like, oh yeah, we're just catching up. We've been away for a month. So it's really like a 2.5 month period where nothing gets done, basically.
Well, I worked for a French company at L'Oreal, and man, you couldn't get a hold of anyone in August. That was just it. There were the emails that were sent out before. If you needed any information, like you knew someone personally, but you also weren't going to bother them. You're like, this is their August off. They are off. I'm not going to bother them. I have to wait a month for that answer.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah. It is nice. You got a mandatory lunch and a mandatory month off a year. That's it. There's no excuses. You just take it off. Eat your lunch.
Yeah, it's great. Europe does get something right. I was telling some guys here earlier, we were talking about Spain and what a great place it is to live. And we were doing a shoot for Top Gear in northern Spain. And the tourist board were involved, and we were chatting to this woman, and she was like, yeah, we're northern Spain, we don't really have a siesta, so it's a different sort of culture. And I was like, yeah, but we had a Porsche at the time, and we wanted to change your tire on it, so we were trying to get hold of a Porsche dealer. I was like, you say there's no siesta, but I rang the local Porsche dealer because we needed this thing, and it was closed from 12 till 4 every day. And she just looked at me like I was out of my mind. She was like, yeah, that's lunch. That wasn't the siesta. That was just lunch. It's 12 till 4 every day. Every single day.
What a dream.
Oh, it's a dream. And it's gorgeous in Spain as well. I want to live there. It's the best. It truly is the best.
It's really
okay, so is there pulp that we should be examining, Matt?
Yeah, we got a little bit of pulp. Let me pull it up here. Okay, so Helmut Marko said Yuki's staying the whole season. There's nothing changing. I think he made a comment like there's no other options, so they're kind of stuck with it. But
I wonder if Yuki's just going to run away and hide at some point. To be honest, he might just not show up.
Yeah.
No,
he might just not show up.
It's just AWOL.
I hope it doesn't break him, man. I hope the kid survives this.
I don't know if he will.
I don't
Pretty brutal.
either. It's brutal, and also it's come at a really bad time for him because he was doing so well at Racing Bulls. I think other teams were properly like, oh, this guy's good. We could definitely have him. Aston Martin have got this Honda tie-up coming. Maybe there's something there, but it's come at the worst time because suddenly all they see is him qualifying badly. I know he qualified 11th, but like finishing last, getting lapped twice at the last race. Like, I worry about his future. Actually, it's pretty depressing for him because he was flying high early this year.
It's gonna break.
He went from being an insanely talented driver, outperforming what he should be doing at Racing Bulls, to now being, like you said, like he's just underperforming, and I'm kind of worried about it.
And no answers. Same thing. Every driver you see, that they look so depressed but also confused. It's like you can see the cogs are twirling. They're like, well, I can drive. I've always been good at this. Like, why is it not working? And they never have an answer. It's truly bizarre. It's literally bizarre.
If Max is complaining the whole way around that it's the worst car to drive, Yuki's not going to be able to make it work. It's just not going to happen.
It's true.
Some going from Yuki to Nico, I saw this video, cutest thing I've ever seen. I guess Nico's wife and daughter were back home, and she got to see her dad go on the podium, and her just like jumping around. I think she's like 5 or something like that. So cute. Love that.
So, have you seen her do all the drivers?
Yeah.
I guess the interviewers asking their last name, so they'd be like, "It's Yuki what?" And this little girl is like, "Sonoda." What is she? 4 or 5? She's tiny, but she knows every single name. It's great. Yeah.
It's my goal for my daughter in 2 years. We also, so Sauber obviously wasn't expecting anything like this, so they didn't have any champagne lined up. Nothing. Not a bottle of champagne. So Mercedes actually sent them a gift bag with like a cute note congratulating them of a bunch of bottles of champagne because none of their engineers or anyone could drink any champagne. So it just goes to show you how like no one saw this coming. They one bottle of champagne. That's
they haven't bought any for a long time. So
why would you cart around? They probably did for the first 2 years, and they're like, no.
They've probably got some lovely vintage stuff from like late 90s, early 2000s.
Still there.
That's the last stuff they used.
They just didn't think they were going to do it. What else we got? We got so Hannah Waddingham. I think that's how I'm saying her name, from Ted Lasso. Blonde, tall girl.
Yeah.
She ran into Brundle on the grid walk and like fangirled over him. And he like didn't even know what to do because he doesn't get that. And she was like obviously like British and grew up like watching it, and he was a legend. And it was just nice to see him getting that recognition. But I think he gets it probably more in Silverstone than anywhere else for sure.
Yeah, he deserves it, doesn't he? He is a true legend. I saw that. Yeah, that was pretty funny. She was like hugging him and just telling him what a legend he was, which is true.
Yeah, he is.
It's true. He deserves it.
Yeah, he deserves everything. That's kind of it. Not a lot has happened since we're here recording on a Sunday night. We never do that. Normally a Monday morning. And then next week, guys, we're going to be in Canada, so we're going to jump on an Instagram Live, which we've never done. So the three of us are just going to try to figure out a time. We'll try to let you know ahead of time, and we'll be there. We can answer questions, chat about the in-between because we're all kind of away, so we're not going to do an episode, but we'll chat with you guys and talk some shit.
Maybe we can do like a poll or a question or put something out there.
For sure.
Answer some questions, but then, we'll also be live and we can answer as they come in. But yeah.
Yeah. Annoyingly, I'll be in LA and you guys are going to arrive.
I know.
That's why we won't be here.
Exactly. I've been waiting weeks to arrive. But yeah, okay, no, that sounds cool. I like the idea of an Instagram Live. Yeah, and we can answer questions and we might be prepared. I doubt it, but yeah, who knows? It's an entire possibility. I want to come on one of your manly holidays and see if I can hang with the sort of American outdoorsy guys. I feel like it could be.
We fish every morning. It's white fish, and so you can like fry it and make fish tacos, and it's delicious. But Matt will not touch, won't even entertain touching a fish.
I'll catch it, but I don't want to take it off the hook. It's fucking disgusting.
He's not going to do one other thing.
I'm not going to gut it. I'm not going to cut it open.
That slimy feeling.
It's the spines on the fins freak me out. Like they're going to cut my hand, and when they flop around, they startle me. I don't know. I don't love a fish, but I like to eat a white fish. I don't like salmon. Don't like trout, but I'll eat a white fish. And that's really good, especially like a fish and chips. I like a fish and chips with a lot of tartar sauce, like tons of tartar sauce.
Yeah, but I don't generally like handling animals. I don't think. It's just fish. They're gross. I nearly had a bird in my house incident the other day. You know, I freak out about birds in indoor spaces. It was fucking scary. I was on my bed chatting to my wife who's away on FaceTime, and I've got Velux windows, you know, in the roof. Do you know what they are? Yep. Velux windows, yeah. Are they called the same thing out here?
Is that like a skylight?
Yeah, like a skylight window that you open and then they come down flat.
Yeah.
So they open pretty wide, and we don't have screens in Europe at all. So, but anyway, and obviously it's in the roof. So I had it open, and I just out of the corner of my eye, I was like, "There's something weird on the thing," and it was a big fucking pigeon sat up there, and it was open wide enough that it could easily have just like walked into the room. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm going to freak out." So I like managed to like calmly get up because I didn't want to startle it because then it could come towards me. So I like calmly walked around the bed, got up, and then like slammed it so it had to fly off. Then not only did it like, it wasn't content with just flying off, it came back. It was like scratching at the window. It was pretty horrific, to be honest. And then worse still, like firstly, this has ruined my bedroom for me because in the summer, like, it's lovely. I can have the Velux window open and it's at quite a low level, so it just like lovely breeze over the bed. But now I'm paranoid about birds coming in. Then it comes at me like a fucking horror film and it's scratching at the window and everything. And then over the next day and a half, I find bird shit in various places on my bed and in the bedroom. So I think this fucking thing was in my bedroom, just wandering around, shitting wherever it felt like shitting. And then I came in the room and maybe that made it leave the room or something, but it was just sitting there. It was probably waiting for me to leave to come back in. So my house, I feel like I'm going to have to like move house or set it on fire or something because my house is ruined for me forever now.
I feel like this isn't the end of the story. I think this pigeon's smart and it knows. You open that up again, maybe the first day he's going to let it slide. Second day he's in there again shitting.
Well, that's the problem. I can't now. I'm like, I might as well weld the fucking thing shut because I'm too.
You could buy a screen, right? You could buy a screen. We don't have
screens in the UK. They just don't exist.
You could make a screen, I'm sure.
I know, but think about the mechanics of it, because the window, it comes out of the frame, so you can't really have a screen because where you would pull it down, the window would hit the screen. You know, do you understand how it works? It just doesn't seem to work. You need some clever screen that's fitted to the front and back of the window that as you pull it down, it retracts.
I hear that, and I also cannot accept that the only option is to let birds in your house.
You could actually get a scarecrow and put it outside on the roof, and I'm sure that could work.
That's the thought.
Jethro's going to have a broken leg because he fell off the roof trying to put a scarecrow on the roof.
That could be it. Scarecrow, here we come. Yeah, it's a good idea. While I'm in Tennessee, I'll buy some weird country clothes and stuff and have a crazy looking scarecrow on the roof.
See, now we're talking.
Okay, well, yeah, awesome race. Silverstone, love it, even though I wasn't there. It was a bit disappointing. Lando is right in the hunt now. Lando v. Oscar is going to go on for the whole season. Is it
9 points now?
9 points, yeah. Pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really good fun. Ferrari looking a little bit better. Mercedes still nowhere. Max, moments of magic. There's a lot to
Kimi,
enjoy.
I felt so bad for
Kimi.
Kimi. 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so good for a while. He was so consistent.
But it was a great race. Truly, even I'm on a WhatsApp group, which is a really civilized thing that you guys don't have. But anyway, with all my friends from uni who are not into F1 at all, but they're big sports fans generally. And they were all like, they all watch F1 a bit. They'll watch the first 15 minutes or whatever because they're just into sports generally. And they were like, oh my God, this race is awesome. All of them chiming in, oh my God, it's so good. It's actually a properly good race this time. So yeah, it was a great advert for F1. A really good advert for F1 and perfect timing with the F1 movie coming out as well. So great job.
Well, what's his name? He waved the checkered flag.
Damson Idris.
The other one, as we keep calling him. The other dude.
Mm-hmm. The other guy. Damson.
Everyone's the other guy if Brad Pitt's the main
If it's
star.
Brad Pitt,
So
he's just...
I mean, that's not offensive.
I don't feel...
It's like...
Yeah, I don't feel that bad when it's the other guy to Brad Pitt. Yeah, everyone's the other guy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are.
We're
We're all the other guy. We all just live in Brad Pitt's world, basically, don't we?
100%.
So I think that's fine. It's okay. We can live with that. Okay, guys. Well, at this point, Dax would say push, 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 push. I'm saying I have to go and sleep. And we will be on Instagram Live next week with all sorts of insight and less jet lag. And maybe Lewis is back for Charlie. It's going to happen. But a bit of a big break to come until Spa. Until then, we will just enjoy the drama and the pulp. And who knows, maybe Max Verstappen will be announced as a Mercedes or Aston Martin driver in the next week. That could throw everything up in the air.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, we'll see you on Instagram Live next week.
See ya.
See ya.